Hello, Kevin, and all the Supernatural fans. Update on Kevin Zimmerman's Hero #1 car. Paint is being sanded off of this thing. It's going down to bare metal. I don't know if we can see here with the glare and stuff, but this is coming to all be bare metal and stuff. And all the old paint and fillers and whatever was in this car is all coming off. So hands are being laid on this car. Don is over here working on the door. I'm not even sure. It looks like a front door to the passenger side. Yep, because that's the only one off the car. And he's welded up all the holes that were for the Caprice trim. You know, all new holes will be drilled up here for the Impala trim. This thing will be everything. It'll be down to bare metal. The back side here, they've got the quarter panel done on it, and apparently there was some body work done in here, and Don and Mike are just kind of like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to cut this whole panel off, and we got a parts car out there with a really nice quarter panel, believe it or not, and it's going to be replaced with this, because I guess there's been some pretty good hits down in here in this body line, and so they just said it's easier to pull it off, put a new piece in, and then of course the great thing about it is an original '67 Impala piece, so we know it's going to fit right, and because it's factory. So that was going on. The rear end and transmission is done. I pick it up on Monday, and let me kind of come down here. Michael is now taking out all the old control arms and all that, because down here is the Hotchkiss suspension. So there's your new trailing arms, your uppers right there, and then in the cellophane is the lowers. The sway bar is in the other parts room, and then up here against one of the welders is the Hotchkiss panhand bar. So when this new rear end comes in, we're going to have to paint it, and we're going to slide it in, and man, this thing's going to look so badass. I can't wait to see that rear end in there with that Hotchkiss suspension, because I've never got to do a car with a Hotchkiss suspension. Mine's going to have it. I've got the parts and stuff, just never have got to do one. So this stuff is heavy duty, beefy, which is really good, because I went down this week and saw the rear end, and they opened it up for me. And just so everybody is aware, the rear end in this car is the 12 bolt, and we put with a new posi unit. So this car's on a posi. Is when you hit the gas, both wheels spin, and so it just gives you that much better traction. And we went with a Yukon system posi unit. So when we got the rear end down there, we were informed that the axles were worn out, and which did not please me at all. So I had to call Kevin and say, hey buddy, the axles are gone. And I don't know if the axles in my car are good or not. I was going to replace them either way. And I told Kevin, if they're good, I'll give you my axles. Kevin's like, screw that, put new ones in it, do it just like it's your car, Rick. And I was like, man, I love you, because that's how I want to do it. And I let the guys down at the shop know, like, hey, just put new axles in it. And because they are even super anal like me, they put Yukon axles in this this rear end, so everything is matching. You know how I am about things matching. So that just, really excited me. Now, we could have went with a Strange axle or a Mosier, and they would have been cheaper. The Yukon axles are more expensive. I looked them all up. And I just, you know what, man, I really like that setup. And because Kevin went that route and that's what they did, that's what's going in my Impala. I'm just doing it exactly like that. That's how much I like it. So for anybody that's doing, rear ends and stuff like that, or, they're sending us their car and they're like, hey, we want posi unit and stuff, I would do it that way. To me, why cheap out when you've come this far? I know money plays a part. There's times when I was like on my car, I was like, oh, I just don't have the money. You know what? I don't buy it. I sit and wait until I have the money, and that's what I do. I don't want to put in second best. That's me, guys. I'm not saying you have to be like me. I'm anal. I want the very best in my car. I don't want to have problems with my car. Not saying I can't have problems with it because I put in those parts, but the chances of it being a flaw in the system when I'm trying to do something, it's just a very low percentage, and I feel better at that. And I know this car here, me and Kevin talked the other night, and when this car's done, Kevin's flying in, and he's taking a long-ass road trip in baby. He's going up to see, I think, his mother, his brother, and before he goes home, and this thing is going to be driven that entire way. And I said, man, you're going to have a brand new car. Brand new engine, brand new transmission, brand new rear end. Everything on this car is going to be brand new, and that is the way to do it. We're going to make the car look like it's been around the block a few times, giving it the good supernatural baby look. But, you know, where she counts, it's all going to be brand new. And that's the way I like to build these cars. So I like power when I want power. So anyway, Kevin, I know it's not a big update. Your hood and stuff I did on another video, but I'm going to show you. Your hood is over here. Fenders are over here that are getting done. So there is in black primer, so metal work can be done and it's not rusting up. Your hood all in black primer, and Don, there was like a bow in it, or not a bow, but kind of like a high spot, and we found out that it was from the radiator cap because they had put a Chrysler radiator in your car at some point and it set higher, so when it came down they had cut out the insulation, but it was still, so Don's worked all that back down to factory. And I think this is one of your fenders right here. As I mentioned in the other video, you're going to still see holes where this has got to be welded shut, and all that stuff. There's holes, and or those, I think they're the new holes Don just put in. Yeah, because this was the Caprice. It was down here, the trim, and that's all been welded shut. And I know you can still see that, and I don't want you to think that, oh, that's going to show up when we get it painted. No. The metal work and stuff has just been, the body work has not been done to this fender, but the new holes for the Caprice trim right there, or I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Caprice, I meant to say Impala. All those holes are there, I believe. So Don's doing his magic, and there's fenders down here. Some of these fenders belong to Bradley and Mary Camp's car, the Veninator. So Francis's stuff is over here, but Don knows which is which. I don't, because I'm not the body paint man. But I wanted to let you know that there are stuff's being done to your car. Stuff's being done to everybody's car. We kind of float around because we're like, oh, we need to do this, and and we kind of jump and move around. But things actually, it's a good system how they got it going. I'm not going to interfere on that. I just need to go, oh, what needs to be wrenched on, and that's kind of what I try to jump in and do and stuff. But and then I'm talking to all the customers and trying to find cars, parts cars, and stuff like that. So with that being said, still obviously a lot more work needs to be done on Francis, but she's looking really good. I mean, it's being done right, the right way, and I can't wait till we get that tank in there, because that tank is stainless, and oh man, this car's gonna just be so badass. And I'm just pretending this is my car, because everything that is being done to this car is just the way I'm doing it. Except for one thing, the engine, the 396, which will now be a 402 because it's been bored over. It's got dome pistons, and I mean, this thing's gonna be badass. The only difference, mine will have the 502 in it. That's the only difference. But as I've said a jillion times, you'll never know a difference between a 396, a 402, a 427, a 454, a 502, because they're all big blocks. This thing's gonna have aluminum heads on it. This thing is just gonna look just like it, and she'll lay big black rubber marks, wide rubber marks anytime you want it. So that's the cool thing that always puts a smile on my face. So anyway, Kevin, brother, there's your update for this week. Man, next week, hopefully we're going to have, even a better update. We'll have the rear end in it, and we'll be going over all that stuff when it comes in. I'll show you everything. So I hope you enjoy your video. I hope all the fans enjoy the video. If you guys ever have questions, that includes you, Kevin, even though we talk quite a bit, but I want to talk to anybody that needs to know something about these cars. I understand that everybody's not going to be able to afford to send their car to us and have it done, you know, our way. I understand that, guys. I know if you guys could, you would. But if you guys are on that budget where you're going to have to try to do it yourself and you have questions, get a hold of me. I will help you out 100%. I want you guys to build your dreams. I always tell people, we build your dreams so you don't have to. But I know sometimes people have to build their own dreams and they don't have the luxury or whatever you want to call it to send a car and have it done. So I want to make sure that these cars get to the road, and I'm willing to do anything I can to help you guys out. So if you ever need that advice or a know-how or something like that, please contact me. I'm here for you guys. So we'd rather do your cars, but you know, we understand that not everything's going to be able to come to us. So with that being said, I'm going to say goodbye to you all. Be good, be safe. And until next week, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a good one. Bye-bye.